Hi guys, it was so fun seeing you guys at Zoom. And for those of you that missed it, we were talking about the life cycle of seeds. And Becky read a book about sunflowers, and we'll post that too. But she sent all of you some seeds. And what you can do with those seeds is you can put them into a little Ziploc bag with paper towel and some water in there and get that nice and moist, and then you can put your seeds in there, and then you can tape this to a window or put it maybe outside, probably in the shade outside, or in a window that gets morning sun. Sometimes afternoon sun can be a little bit, it'll dry it out too fast. But then you can you'll start to see the roots starting to pop out of the shell. Now these haven't been in long enough for that to happen yet, but you can look at the progress every day. And another thing that you can do is you can grow some things from things that you get from the grocery store. So did you know that when your parents cook with garlic, sometimes, now this one is too new to have grown yet, but garlic, a lot of times when your parents are peeling the garlic, when they pull that paper off, oh, this one's beginning to sprout. You can see right there, you see that? Leaves are going to come out of that and it will grow. And so you can take, I'll show you a little craft here in just a second that you can do. You can make your own little planter. And if you take this with this end, this is the end where the roots would come out of. And if you take this and you just stick it in the soil, you can watch it grow. And you can see what a garlic plant looks like. And then another one that you can do, and it's very similar, is when your parents are cooking with onion, if they save the end where the roots were, so the root end, and if you leave it's about an inch of the onion behind, and if you take like a little dish or something, this is just the bottom of a bottle, you can put a little bit of water. You can just fill it with a little bit of water. You can also use a bowl. And you just stick it in the end in water like that. And then what will happen is you will start to see the center part of your onion will start to grow just like the garlic was. And then another type of onion is green onion. Your parents will get green onions like this. And usually the bottom of the green onion kind of looks like this when you get it. And if you cut the bottom about an inch off, you can put this in just a little bit of water, and the roots will start to grow. Or you can just, again, with your soil, poke your finger in and bury it almost all the way so you're only seeing the top of just the very top. And sometimes I'll even bury them so that I don't really see them at all. But you can put them in here, and you can water. On this one, I put a little bit of cotton string to wick up it soaks up the water and helps bring the water up into the plant, and so that it's getting some water, but it's not totally, it's not swimming. But you just water that, and then you want to use, this is just a regular recycled bottle that I'm using, and you can have a little bit of water in your cup. You can use the bottom half of the bottle to set it in, but I find that actually is not as stable as using something heavier like a mug or a cup. And see, you can just have a little bit of water in the bottom, and then that string will help keep this soil moist. While it's setting roots, you want to make sure to keep the soil moist. And you can set this on your counter or in a sunny window, just so it gets a little bit of sun. Doesn't need a lot, and it will grow. Another thing that you can grow from the grocery store, no seeds needed, is celery. This was celery that I had in my kitchen, and it was not looking so good. And this is the very center of, they call this the heart of the celery. And it was looking kind of lifeless, and I just stuck it, and it didn't have any roots at all. And I just stuck it in water, and I put it in a nice sturdy mug, because I have cats, and my cats like to inspect everything that I have planted. So I have to make sure that everything is in a really heavy container so my cats can't knock it down. But you just stick this in water and it will start to grow, and then if you have a garden, you can plant it out in the garden and it will continue to grow. Or you can just watch and see what happens as it grows in your cup. Just keep just enough water to cover the roots. Not a lot, just enough to cover the roots. And okay, so now make your own planter. There's a couple things that you can do. You can use any kind of bottle. This one you might notice gets a little narrower here. That's not as great for if you were going to use this bottom part as the cup it sits in, because it's not very wide. But for this, you're probably going to have to ask your parents for help, because this is kind of hard to cut through. But you'll cut it right about here around is about a good spot. And here I have another one, so you can see how you can use the bottom of the container. And this one, what I did was I put some rocks in the bottom to cover the hole, so that when I put some soil in there, let's see if I can give you a little better view. Okay. So when I put some soil in there, see, the soil doesn't go straight out. See? It stays in. That's the hole. You either want, if you're gonna leave the cap on, you do need to use like a nail and a hammer, and you probably have to have your parents' help. And you just pound the nail in and make the hole. And then you can take some cotton yarn. You can just put it in the hole and tie it off on the inside so it doesn't slip back out. And then you fill up your container with some soil. Now this container was from vinegar, and so it was a taller container. See? But what I did was I didn't want it to tip so easy, so I made the bottom shorter, and I cut out just the middle ring, and then you can set it like that. I wanted, if you can see it, I wanted the bottom of the top of the bottom of this piece to rest right in the bottom and not be floating, because then it'll be in the water and it can help soak up the water. But so you're just gonna put your soil in there. And you could even, if you wanted to do your bigger onion, as long as you had a wider container, or you could even take off some of these outer layers and make this a little smaller. But you can just bring the level of the soil up so that the bottom of the onion touches. You could do that too. Or if you have seeds from Becky, you can take your seeds, and just pop them right there, right in there. Just poke a little hole, put them right in the center. Give it a good water, because seeds need water in order for them to grow. So I'm just gonna give that plenty of water. I'm gonna pour a little bit of water in the bottom. And if while you're waiting for the seed to grow, if you just keep some water in the bottom, doesn't have to be a lot, you know, and you can just hold it under the tap and see how it's in the bottom. You can just get it in there, and as long as the soil is moist, that seed will come up. And eventually, if you wait long enough, the roots will reach all the way down to the bottom of this little planter you've made, and they will reach down to the water at the bottom. But really, the purpose of this bottom cup is to catch the water so it doesn't go all over your counter. And you can put this in, it doesn't really need a ton of light. You can put it in a window that gets the morning light, probably would be good. Afternoon light, again, is a little bit, it's really hot right now, so it might dry it out really fast if you got the afternoon light. But you can grow, this is wheatgrass. It's from Wheat Berries. You can find that at the store, or also I bought it in a seed packet called, this is actually cat grass, but you can do wheat berries too. You can grow them like this. If you have cats, your cats will love you. You can do a couple of these, but make sure if you're going to let your cat eat it, you need to put this in something that is heavy so that they can't knock it over, because they really go to town when they eat it. Look, I have 3 of these going, and this one they ate and ate and ate, and then they have one in the house right now that they are eating right now. But we'd love to see pictures of how your plants are doing, how your seeds are doing. And if you, like I said, if you want to make your own, any bottle will do. And if it's a smaller thing, like your garlic, you could probably use one of those little yogurt drinks. The other thing that you can do with one of these is if you cut it here, and let's say you had an avocado, and you took the avocado pit, you could take the avocado pit and put it in this cone part. And this was just a jelly jar. I like to reuse things. And you could just set it down in there with the top. I would do the top off. And then what you want to make sure is that the bottom half of your avocado pit is always in water. And you might be surprised. You might actually get roots off of your avocado. Happy growing, guys.